We will look into how to handle different loading conditions in the main window in ShipWeight. In the project that you see open here, we have lightship items and we have loads items that together makes up a total displacement for the project. Now if you expand the lightship, we will see that this is made up by the typical summary of the 1 through 700 digit SWBIS numbers, and the lightship as such is correct. If we expand the loads group, we will see that the load is made up by summarizing A loads, C loads and F loads, and this doesn't really make up to any sensible loading condition. This is just a summary of all loading conditions really, and thus the total displacement in this case, which is the summary of the loads and the lightship, does not make sense. It does not represent one particular loading condition. So what we want to do now is to apply global filters to set up various loading conditions that will be meaningful in the main window and also when running other functions in ShipWeight like the weight distribution curve, gyradius functions and so forth. So to be able to do this in a good way, we will create loading conditions using the global filter. The global filter setting can be seen in the upper right area of the screen, and if I click on the browse button right to the right of the filter drop list, I'm getting a dialog which allows me to create a global filter. And now I will create global filters for my various loading conditions. The first I will create is a loading condition for the lightship, or just the lightship. So start by giving the filter a name, and in this case the name will be lightship. And then in the areas below here I create the actual filter. For the lightship, I only want the lightship SWBIS numbers to be summarized in the main window and none of the loads. So to accomplish this, I will create a filter that excludes all loads. And I'll do that by first selecting a parenthesis in the first field here. Then I go to the next field and I select weight group. And then in this operator field, I will select not like. And in the value field, I'm going to say bracket A, C, F, and bracket, and then a percentage sign, and I will end my filter with an end parenthesis, and then I will save this filter. To explain the filter that we're seeing right here now, it means that we have created a global filter where weight groups should be not like ACF percentage. The use of the bracket and the percentage are wildcards. Putting ACF in brackets means that the weight group should be not like anything starting with A, C or F, and the percentage means that it can be anything following any of these letters. So this filter means that we should not include weight groups that starts either with ACF and weight groups that starts with this having other letters or numbers after these letters will also be excluded. That's what the percentage are making sure of. So that's our lightship filter. And now we want to make our full load condition. So we will make a filter for full load. So I'm giving it a new name, full load, and that's the F loads. And now I just go in and make a small adjustment in my existing filter and saving it with a new name. So now we will exclude the A and C loads, but not the F loads. So I remove the F and I save my new filter, which now says weight group not like A or C and whatever. Now I'm going to do my minimum load, and that's the A loads. And then I will exclude any loads that starts with C or F. But I will, when I save, include the A loads. And finally, I will do the capacity load. Capacity loads. Oops. That is my C loads. And I will say that weight groups should not be like anything that starts with A or F, and then whatever. And this is my capacity load filter. So now that I've created these 4 filters here, light ship, minimum load, full load and capacity loads, I can use them by selecting them in the drop list in the main window. So starting with the light ship, you can see that selecting this filter, it now rules out all the loads and we're left only with the light ship. And now I can switch to any of my loading conditions within my global filter list here. So if I now want to have a look at my full load, I click full load and waiting for the progress bar down here to just update the main window. For the full load, it now includes the F Swibis groups with the light ship. And now we have a meaningful total displacement and center of gravity for full loads. Similarly, I can select capacity loads. That should give me C groups. And finally, I can also test my minimum load, A loads. And we have a total displacement and center of gravity that is meaningful for the minimum loads. The filters that's been set now are global. This means that they will be valid not only for the main screen, but also for the item dialog with all the details. You will now only see A loads and light ship items. And also when you run weight distribution curve, gyradius, etc., then these functions in the ShipWeight application will now be run for this global filter settings. So anything that's been excluded by this filter will not be included in any calculations in ShipWeight.